you know, some of his trees he'll put some fairly severe bends in early and grow the tree. This tree was predominantly something like this. I'm going to say Hanh grew this 8 years ago. You and I won't be able to do it so fast, but Hanh would have grown his trees like this. Yeah, and this is.
We need to think about the problem. The problem is 6 years ago, I kept thinking to make that shop. That's the problem. And now I had to re-eye some tree like that again and rebending again. Now I'm thinking about new technique, use for that one, and rebending on one time, and maybe 4, 5, 6 years later, the tree already done. We just wiring, shaping, not heavy bending like that tree, and get a tree again. So now I start bending. So the wiring, we need about ½ inch, not too far, and the wire not too small. Doesn't work like that. So now I try to bend. The first we need to thinking.
So what Han's discussion was before we were talking?
One side, and now I need to go the other side.
He likes to use a very heavy wire to get the bends in and get them very tight so the tree will actually stay in place. He's using both thumbs to massage the wire around, so he's not trying to, if he tried to have his thumbs too far apart with light wire, there's a fair chance he would just snap the tree. But this is wiring and bending very easily. But he's put support all the way around as he's bending that trunk.
So Barry, how many pieces of wires aren't on that?
That's one bit.
Just the one piece?
Yeah, I would say it was 4 mil wire.
5 mil.
5 mil? It's actually 5 mil. So I mightn't have used 5 mil on that, and I might have put longer bends in it as well. A longer angle. So this is quite close, and it's very heavy wire. But you can tell how important it is to use the heavier wire, because this is holding very well. I think, you know, sometimes when you use lighter wire, you'll massage it, it'll keep on losing its shape very quickly.
So the top I already done, but the problem is too straight, and this one only one bend go like that. So now that one we need to go back.
Han's using both hands to make sure that he's got as much support on that trunk as possible. I have to be honest, often I laughed with Han because I thought to myself, why is he putting these type of bends in? They don't look right, they don't look natural, to me the shape of the tree wasn't a natural looking tree, and I thought, what is he doing? And we've had this discussion a number of times, but what happens when this tree starts to age, the gaps between the trunk get closer and closer, and they become very interesting. This, for instance, he's actually curled around and put that tight bend in, just like Han's doing now. But over the period that this is actually thickened, it's actually almost fused together to give a really, really interesting style. In the last bonsai today, this come up, And it was, to me, it was very interesting. If you must choose between the Japanese rules of bonsai or enhancing the work of nature, always go for nature. I probably wouldn't have subscribed to that a few years ago, but I see some of the work that Han's doing in the development of his trees, and I'm quite liking this this type of work now. That tree, how high was it to start with, Ho?
About over
A metre, yeah. So there's been no chop down. We haven't chopped the tree down to grow it back on, to get taper and everything like that, the way we would grow a maple, I guess.
So now you can see the tree is four sides, all never straight. That side, and that side, and that side. When we landing to think where the top is going, right? And now the top later on they go like this. Keep continue when the candle they go, keep continue, don't cut anything. And now all this one I don't need anymore. I have to remove. Because all this one is weight energy. Just flip like that, we don't need anymore. Later on, they back anywhere, and then go up here a little bit, we can bend some on the top, go down. Like that. The tree go like this, like the waterfall, and then the top, similar like that tree. But that tree, the problem before, I kept thinking about that much. I never think they go up and down again. That's why I have to cut and rebending, working, winding again. That takes so long. That's why I need another 1 year to become a bonsai. But totally that tree only 6 years already done. And next year 7 years, but the tree only 8 years old, totally 15 years old, finished job.
So I hope everybody understood that. So Han was taking off all the branching around the bottom of the tree as we would normally be trying to encourage. He wants all the growth at the top of the tree. So with this style of tree and what he's looking for, he doesn't need the lower branches to start with. If they bud back later on, that's an advantage because they have budded back. You can see where they budded back. But Han was always looking to grow this on as far as he could and then bring the tree down. So there's been no big cutback of the trunk. It's been wired down, and where he'd actually removed the branches lower on the trunk, it's been replaced by branches on this cascading branch or cascading trunk.
I thinking I bring this one go on the top, that low end like the waterfall.
So this will be the cascade waterfall, and this is going to be the apex.
Yep.
You're going to wire that back
Yep.
into the tree, back into the main trunk.
Yep. So now that's too far. We need to thinking how it's bending. Now you can see, look at this. I see how to go in first. I see how it's bending first and how far it can go in like this. And then I start winding.
So you're bending that quite easily. Is that because the soil's very dry? You wouldn't want to do this when the tree was moist. You would rather it dry?
Because Han's very strong.
He is. So while Han's just going to put a little bit of wire on that, I just want to show you one tree that he bought recently. He bought it up in Bendigo at BSB. We didn't realise we were going to blow it up. It looks better in a small shot, but there's no right or wrong. Anyone have a bit of a punt on what you would do with a tree like that? He's already got it on a bit of a bend there, on an angle that was quite straight. Nobody want to have a shot? The apex was actually a branch. So that bending and twisting, that's curving in and around, and most likely as a young tree, if this was a young tree, it wasn't a collected tree, But if it was a young tree, there could have been actually a bend in there that's actually fused together. They've been able to get the bend so tight that it's that the diameter of the tree is closed up and the tree's actually fused. Another one with tight bends, and if you're ever at Han's nursery, he's got some of the.
And you can bend, they're very hard to snap. And sometimes you tie it up, you hold about 1 year, they snap. And that's why you can go in the garage making it, you can find that is. And you can work on the tree, very good.
So do you splice it? Do you cut it out?
Now, the first,
So everyone knows that's a radiator hose from
Set up a
water
radiator
hose.
Set up a radiator pipe.
yeah, from a board, we can try to put in there. If they're over, we need to cut a little bit.
This is the Han works with radiator hose. I work with airline that pumps into fishing ponds, little ponds of 6mm diameter. Han works on 50mm. Just while it does continue to work, we're just going to talk about a tree that had been started by somebody, and they said, I can't get a tight bend in there. I can't, it was too big, it was a very big open bend, and he wanted to get the tight bends that Han gets. So that's still massaging Han. You massaging? So Han said straight away, there's a fault, the wire isn't thick enough. So that's 4mm and that's 3mm. So he's run 2 bits of wire around, but Han said that the loops are not 45 degrees, they're a longer bend and it's not giving enough support. And he said heavier wire, because Han used 5mm wire on the small tree, and we're only using probably 4mm on a trunk diameter that's priced twice as thick. So if you have the strength and the patience to wire slowly and carefully, you'll be able to wire with a heavier wire and get things in place. Han just looked at it straight away and he says, wire not thick enough. So if the owner takes that wire off and puts some 5 or 6mm on that, he'll be able to get the tighter bends. So that's all 6mm wire, Han, and you've gone twice.
So Barry's twice 6mm is equivalent of 12mm?
Well, that's, I don't know, I would say no. I would put 50% on that. I would say it was 9mm. But I don't think you get the equivalent of 12mm out of it. You imagine you using 2 lots of 1.5mm that we're used to. That won't give you a 3mm bend, will it? Yeah.
Barry, the
Yes.
tree up nearest you on your end of the table there,
Oh.
between you and me.
Yeah, the one that we're going to buy off Han.
Yeah, that's right. Have the needles been cut back on it?
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Yep.
But not when you purchased it. Yeah, they're quite long there. They've been cut to 40% of the original length.
Okay.
And Han, would you cut the needles back just this time of year, or because you did the bending and you wanted to do some more styling on it?
Yeah.
Normally, you cut the needles short now?
Little bit
This
early.
time? Bit early, yeah. You would use it in October or November when it gets warmer?
Yeah.
How do you know when it's enough? You wait for a sound? Yeah. So no diameter wire would hold that. So he's using like a guy wire. So the quick action clamp is just going to hold it in position, and Han's just going to hold it in place now by just running a 3mm, 4mm wire around just to hold it in place. And I think maybe, if you wanted, maybe in 1 week's time you would try and tweak it more if you want a tighter bend.
So, all depends the weather.
You want it dry.
Some the weather too cold, don't touch.
Warm, okay.
Yep. Like now, when we usually on the right time when you want to bend on the tree, usually you find out. I find out usually November, middle October, middle September, some January. But now I find out exactly no wrong, no right. On the right hand, you can see that tree, they start a candle. And that tree, little bit weak, not strong enough. When you want to bend, you see the candle, they start a leaf, then nearly about 2 inches. And then on the right hand, you start to bend, heavy bending, really big like that, you can bend. And there's only 1 month, you unwind the stable. But when you winding wrong time, doesn't work. You unwind, the tree goes straight up.
So it's better to have a lot of sap flow.
That way, sometimes I can say usually on middle October or the end October or something else like that. But now I find out every tree that the different, not the same one. Different growth, different everything. That way, now I find out exactly. I spent nearly a year only thinking for the bending. Now my project already complete, finished. One way, I just see the candle. And when you see the candle, they start to lay around over 2 inches or 3 inches. Some leaves they go over 100 mil. Around 2 inches or 3 inches, you start to bending. Why? Why? Because on the springtime, all the energy for the tree, what they supply for the tree. I think the last demonstration I will tell the people already. What they supply for the tree for. Now, when the spring coming, all the energy in the tree, they supply for the plow, blade, the young blade, and the foot. That right? That right? And now, that the time, they don't have energy anymore. You need to feed some more to fertilize. I feel the fertilize every 2 weeks in the summertime. Any problem? The people can tell me, I can tell. Why? Because on the springtime, they spend all the energy for the leaf, new bud, the flower, and the berry. They run out of energy. And then, if you don't feed more to fertilize, and how can they use for the energy to start to take the trunk on the summer? That way, sometime on the summertime, we can use the liquid fertilizer, very light, not too heavy, more water, then they come. They take the trunk. The tree never grow. They just grow the tall tree by the candle. When the candle they go long, the tree go tall long, they never grow the height. But all the energy on the summer, they start to get the trunk more thicker. That's the technique I find out. Because my tree, every tree, I have to mark it down when they grow up. That way I know everything. I got the day, everything. And even that tree, I got the day, when they roll up the trunk, when they spend the time for everything. That's why I know exactly. So back to this. Now I'm winding like this. That I want something here at the top. Now already go back over there already. See that? But don't touch. Just hang on. And now I just start winding in this one again.
So Han, you're not going to do, did you just say then that you're not going to do anything more at the top? You want some of these to grow?
No,
first?
just waiting about 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh, 15 minutes. Well, when you wait, I think you're waiting on here. This is actually NutriCode, and it's what the professionals use. Normally you can only buy it in the big bags, but Han's been good enough to cut the club a deal so we can sell it for $10 here, and you put a couple of bucks in the club's pocket.
Barry, how much would you put on each tree, depending on the size of the tree, I guess?
Depending on the pot, but if you had a pot this size, you would put 2 teaspoons. I guess.
Per pot, usually for me, I'm not allowed to use that pot. I don't use that pot.
You like the bigger, deeper pots.
You know why? For the bottom, too much hole.
Many holes.
And then you water in, the fertilizer run away. That way for me, sometimes I put the saucer in there, even I water there, half an hour, I come back, I see the water in the saucer, the tree is sucked up, water again. And you know, we don't have a time to water like in big nursery. Usually they use sprinkler, 5 hours for every day in the tree. Because if you not enough water, the tree, they're going to die.
And they can't take up the nutrients if they don't get the water. Yeah.
That way, the tree high, they lie a lot of water. Summer, even sometimes, I get one tree like this, sometimes I forget. I don't say I good or thing. I drop one tree like this in the water tank. And I say, I come back to pick it up. And when I move on the other side, I say, hey, tree's still there. I said, maybe 1 month. I said, I pick it up. I said, oh, why the tree's still there? I said, okay, pick it up later. Another 10 weeks already. Tree sit in the water tank.
Not drowned.
Nothing wrong.
Gosh.
In 10 weeks. And then I just put the hand go there to pick it up, and the customer come, and then I forget again. Totally, I work it out. Tree sit down in the tank 4 months already, still survive. What the people say?
Personally, I would have drowned it. If anyone does want to do a demonstration, do a workshop, they should start looking around for material now. Don't leave it until the last month. You get it now and you feed it up. But I hadn't watered it enough, and Han told me off.
Everyone see that when you're bending, not like the steel. Never use the steel to bending. That's the big problem I found out already. When you bend the tree, straight up, never bend like this. No way.
When Han's talking about the steel, we're talking about the rod.
That's the
You see
wrong
a
one.
lot of Japanese books where they use the big steel rod to use as a lever.
When you want to bend that grain, you can see that the grain only shoot that way. See that? That's the nature. And then we need to follow the bending. So when they choose like this, then we need to shoot around again, then we shoot another turn, then we bend it down, no problem.
So what happens if you start twisting the other way? Split and break. Is that what you're saying?
You can choose the other side, but you need to little bit massage like that
Yeah,
first.
to
Then
soften,
you still go
To
the other
break
way.
the cells.
Okay? And when you start bending, I can do everything triangle, start bending. When you do like this, you see the tree already shoot forward already. Is that right? And when you see this one, the tree not straight up, but when you bend straight up like this, like the branches, they got something too heavy, they pull it up and they snap easily. That way you need to bend, that way you can see that branch. Now I can go that one first. You see, I never go straight. I go that one first, then slowly, and go that way. So now if I'm thinking to go that way, we need to hook that one first. Just hang on about 10 or 15 minutes, we work again.
So that's the massage you're talking about.
So now I hold it up here, and I drill the hole already there. Just bend, like this. And now I hook it up on that side. And going like this.
And a lot of that bend that you just did was very much in that position there. Why won't it break there now? Because you massaged it? Can we hold some?
Yep.
So no wire in the world would have brought that down if you didn't use that guide.
Now this one straight. If you bend more here, they don't have a wire to hold that side. You little bit bend okay, but little bit hard. That's why you need to hold a wire here and go this way slowly.
So as much as you're using the guy wire to pull
Yep.
that in, you're keeping that from going out any
Yep.
further. So, the purpose of working on the big tree is to see what you can do with the big trees, but this size is a lot better for you and me to be starting with, and then you progress to that. I think if you can master that, then you can start working on the bigger diameter trees.
That one, usually I want to bend more because this way, the top has to go this way. Now I try to bend more.
Barry, does raffia play a part in arm bending?
Right?
What's raffia? We don't need raffia, we massage. Yeah, the raffia and the steel bars that we saw in the 90s and that, it's a technique that works very well, but I'm not sure that we would have put those bends in with bars and up here I haven't, my hearing's not flashed, but I haven't heard one creak. I don't want to put him off on it or say anything, I'm just going to... So that, you pulled that out, and he just hasn't cared because ultimately the potential is for these thinner ones, I didn't do that. The thinner branches not to be used because all the branches that he's going to use for the lower branches is coming off his cascade branch, the waterfall branch.
And now, they literally more closer than this one. That way we can see another bending. And maybe the top, later on, they go somewhere here, just turn around, the top around somewhere here. And now I need to relace about 15 to 20 minutes. Now I got another one.
Alright, Han shakes his head because so nobody's asked me to put their name down on the sheet.
So everyone can see here? That's the mantra. See everyone?
Yeah.
For me, my thinking, somewhere here on the top. That's the top. That one second range. That one the low range. So now, I read it down first on that guy. I put the rubber somewhere around here. To hold up that side.
How old's the tree? Do you know?
Which one?
The one in your hand.
15.
15?
That one 15 and the other one 15. All the same.
How long is it in the pot for before you start the heavy bendy and the seasons?
Right?
How long is it in that pot before you start the big bends?
That one, how long to start?
No. When you're doing these bends, how long is it in the big pot? Like 1 or 2 seasons before you do the big bends?
Only 1 month.
Straight away? How
1
long?
month.
1 month.
so you would just need to make sure that the tree's very secure in the plot, that you're not moving the tree around.
And that, I think a lot of people don't know to use this one, how to drill the hole with the plastic fork. Alright? Look at this. I drill the hole all the way like this. Yeah, put it in. Hold like this, and hold this one, and that one turn, and they got the hole already. Now, see that guy, how much they going.
people
Yep.
won't know,
Yeah.
why didn't that snap? You did a massage. Everyone out there is saying, why didn't that snap? I think you're talking about massage before, but you didn't massage that, you just bent it straight over.
Look. If you roll your tree, you follow your tree every day, you must understand that.
Yeah.
And how the let's walk, when the let's walk,
Yeah.
that you know how to do it.
You know that right at this time, they're flexible enough for you to do that work.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it in one month ago or maybe in 1 month's time. You know
Yeah.
it's right now.
And now, you can see that way, this one, the cascade, that way. And that one, you can see now, somewhere I say, somewhere here on the top. That right? And now you see already? So one bend, just hang on, don't cut that one. When you're not finished, don't cut. Because when you cut this one, the tree slow down in 5 years time. Just let him grow. So when you want to cut, easy way, just like that.
Because this is all you want,
Yep,
the end.
that's like that. And this one, later on, it becomes somewhere around here, literally, the waterfall, up there, go down, like this. That right? And that, when you want to bend, you can bend it now. Just in case, sometimes we snap on that one. And then we got another one.
That's your insurance.
Yeah. So, and this one, now I try to bend that one down again.
So, Han, I think you make a very good point. You said that you knew that tree would bend like that because you're working with the trees all the time. You know it's the right time and you move the trees to find the best time.
Yep.
So regardless of pine or maple or anything, people in their backyard
Yep.
should understand their own trees. Don't come in and ask, when do I do something? Go and have a look at your tree and learn your tree.
Yeah.
Understand.
And now I got another will take around 200 tried maple. Look like high tree now.
Look like what?
High tree now.
Got all the
Oh,
bugs
you
in it.
twisted the trident maples?
Yeah, like this.
Really? Okay.
Another 2 or 3 years, we got the tried maple look like that. And later on, I landing another maple to try to bend it like that. That way, we need to work it out. The tree like that. So in 5 years time, the big like that, the trunk big like that. So I work it out. The same like this. 2 trunks, they make that big enough. And then they got another one, the bigger like this. And they got another one, you can see, maybe you didn't see it yet. That way, in another 5 years. That way, when you work it out, you need to know how long you roll. And that side, and the other side, again, here.
So you don't want them too close. You don't want it to join.
They go over the trunk.
Yeah.
Some too heavy, they go over the trunk. And now, I try to bring that guy down.
So when you were talking about the maples, in 5 years' time, you won't be able to do what you're doing here. You won't be able to pull a branch down and everything.
The maple,
Are you just growing them for shape and then you'll actually cut them down?
I don't cut it out, just let him grow.
So imagine you did that to a maple now.
Yep.
In 5 years' time, you won't be able to pull this down or do anything else. This will be the trunk and you'll work the branches out.
Yeah, just pull the branch out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll be looking for trees about that height, no higher.
I think in 3 year time or 4 year time to try the maple, I think the trunk might be big like that.
So you put them into big pots.
In the
you run
ground.
them on, in the ground. And you put something underneath so the roots don't go straight down,
Yeah.
you get the roots growing out
Yeah.
sideways.
And now that one, I try to bring it down. Have someone see my hand? I turn the red down,
Turn.
twisting it.
Yeah. Hahn's wire cutters double as scissors, or is scissors double as wire cutters? He must be very good at sharpening them.
They are very sharp scissors. They're excellent. Now I can bend like this. Now I can bend like this, so the people can see all different ways. And now, you see on that part?
Yeah.
If you want some bend more bending, okay? The gap is more closer. Alright, I show you how. Look. See the gap? How big the gap? Yep. You see how much it goes down?
So,
Alright?
and
When you bend like this, you can hold the top, just put it down. But the secret like that, now I use for another different technique. To bring it down by on the top. Heavy bending, winding. Remember that one?
turn back into the normal wire.
Yeah. This one, very important, very good for bending. So usually the heavy bending, we need around 1 or 2 weeks. Slowly, slowly, slowly,
Yeah.
then we got a good tree. Don't rush. When you rush, it's easy to snap. And some, when you want to bending, don't cut any bend. Don't do anything. Just bend. Okay? And sometimes, when you bend, and you can see another option. And sometimes the bend is going down, we got another option.
Option, yeah.
Yeah, that way we can join all different ones. Otherwise, you cut this, cut this, cut this. You don't know which way you go. Only one way.
So everybody knows how the Arn's just opened it up fully, unscrewed the right hand thread and the left hand thread. So when they're both anchored like that, he'll just twist the centre and it'll just pull the 2 studs up and reduce the length. So it's a right hand thread and a left hand thread and they'll just come together in the middle. Make it more flexible to get it into this position because before it was coming over here
Yep.
and now you've been able to twist it over
Yep.
here to here.
Yep, that's right.
Coming out that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now they go on that way. Usually I want this one the low